Brothers and sisters, this is my testimony. It's been a very long time since I recorded a video of my testimony, but I'm just so grateful to God for this opportunity. And today, what I'm recording about is a testimony of a person who God added to my life. And there's this woman that I met on the street just out of my hostel, and she had fallen in the mud. She was crying. The lady was really old, and I was actually running for work. It was on a Saturday. I was running to go to work, and I was so late, like I was already late. But then God was weighing my heart to check what's important to me, because the night before that day he told me that, Evelyn, I want you to fast. And I was just saying, Lord, I know that you're saying that I should fast, but I don't even know what you want me to fast for, but I will be fasting. And when I helped that lady, and I helped her to go back to her home, and she was crying and crying, saying that nobody loves her, nobody cares for her, her children never come to see her. And the Spirit of God just told me at that moment that, when you found that woman, she wasn't crying because she fell into the mud. She was crying because she was giving up on her life. She was feeling like there is nothing good in her life. And I sent you to her as a light for her, so that you can shine your light into her life, so that she can see something good in her life. And then I brought her to her home, and I was holding her by the hand because it was difficult for her to walk. She is really old, and she's 90 years old. 90 years old. And the place where I saw her, and the distance between her home and that place, is so far away. I don't even know how she got there. But then for her to stay in her house, she feels lonely. So she wants to walk around, but then she can't walk properly. So then when we went to the home, we arrived at home, I realized that there was stale food everywhere. It was just a terrifying scene. Like, I was asking myself, how can anyone live in such an environment? The floor was dirty. It had layers of dust. The plates, the cupboards, everything. It seemed as if the house hadn't been cleaned for years. And for her, the cooking, the food everywhere was stale. The food in the fridge was stale, and the electricity was gone in her house. And I was trying to figure out, how was she living all this while? And I could see that the cooking of the food is just like a person who is surviving, because every food she was eating was burnt. And then I realized that surely this lady is by herself. She's lonely, she's alone, she's old, and she can't take care of herself. She can't wash her clothes, she can't do everything, she can't do anything. And you know what? I realized that there is no electricity, so I had to go to the, to the place where you pay electricity bills. Then when I got there, they told me that the lady has like a negative of 9,000, which is about close to 200, no, a little more than $100. 9,000 rubles is a little more than $100. But for a student like me, that's like money. That's like really important money, like money that you know what I mean, when you're a student. So it was really, and I didn't have the money at that point. But then what happened is that I asked them if I could pay monthly and stuff like that, and they agreed, and I paid the amount that I had, and the old lady had given me some amount. But at that day, because it was the first time us meeting, oh my God, the dogs. But then it was the first time us meeting. The way she was looking at me, like, if this girl is going to go with my money, then I'm done. But then the next thing was that Next thing was that I added the money that I had, and then I paid half down the bill, the negative bill, and they turned on the electricity. I went back to a house. I cooked. I did everything. I cooked, I cleaned, and things like that, everything that was needed. And you know what? That's when God just spoke to me and said, when I said you should be fasting, I actually required of you to fast the Isaiah 58 verse 6 fast, which says that, you're bending yourselves like a reed, wearing sackcloth, putting dust on yourselves and ashes on yourselves, but you're not being kind to the poor. This is the fast that I require for you to be kind to the poor, for you to break the chains of oppression, for you to break the yoke, to release those who are troubled, to release those who are in prison. Like you are fasting, but you are oppressing other people. You are fasting, but you're not helping the poor. On the day you're actually fasting, you can't even give food to a hungry person. And the day when you're actually fasting, somebody is coming to you asking for help, and you're saying that I don't have anything to give you because I have enough for myself. But then you're not giving, you're not doing anything, you're not helping. This is the fast that I require of you. Fasting, yes, not eating is a good fast, and all those fasts that we do, but then the fast that God requires is a fast that should be continuous. It's a continual fast that never breaks. You shouldn't do nice things for a certain period of time and then break the fast. This fast that the Lord requires is a fasting of the heart that continues for the rest of your life, because this is what the Lord requires. And God said that this is the fast that I require of you. I had work and stuff. I had to call them that I'm not coming, and I called somebody else to go in place of me. And then the next day, you can imagine, from my other job, my second job, because I'm a student and I have part-time jobs as well. From my other sort of main job, the boss just called me and they said that this is money for your salary. Okay, this is your salary. And I was like, why are you giving me now? And he said that he was going to travel for 2 weeks, so he had to pay all of us before he left. And I was like, oh my God, this is Jehovah. This is Jehovah Jireh. He's providing, because, I had to pay for the electricity bill, to pay off the remaining electricity bill and water bill and things like that. And I was like, I see you, God, and this is exactly what you want me to do. The 2 days before that day, my mom called me and she was asking me to send her money for an water bill that is overdue. And she was saying that we were getting into a negative, and the negative is getting bigger and bigger. Please send us money before it exceeds, And I was just saying, God, my mom called me 2 days ago to pay for her water bill, and now I'm paying a bill for another woman who is a stranger that I just met today. I said, God, I trust in you. I trust in you, because since the beginning of time, everything that you required your children to do, it didn't make sense at all. It didn't make sense. But then there was always a blessing that came through obedience. So I'm doing this because I obey you, Lord. But now I was worried. And the worry that I had was, I was asking God, so God, how will she survive? Because I'm leaving Russia in the next 2 months. So who will take care of this woman? And what will happen if I don't have enough money to send somebody to take care of her and to send money for her bills? Because she's on pension, like she's a pensioner, and pensioners don't get a lot of money. She was a nurse in her life. And for nurses, they don't get enough money, like a lot of money for pension. They get like 1,500, which is an equivalent of almost $30. And $30 per month is not enough, because she still needs to pay electricity and water bills for more than $50. So $30 is actually not enough, because she needs food for herself. She needs all these things that a person needs to survive, And I was just asking God, what will happen? What will happen? This woman really, really needs your help. And then God just said, I will provide because you made yourself available. I will provide. Because you are obeyed to my call, I will provide. You will not lack, neither will your house lack, and you will not lack money to take care of that woman. And the Holy Spirit said that you're going to pay somebody money. When you go, you will be having enough money to send to Russia for that lady to be taken care of by somebody else, that you will be paying money to take care of that woman, and money also for the electricity bills and water bills and everything. And this testimony is not to say I'm a great person because I'm a great person because I helped somebody, or to want any approval from anybody. In fact, I don't want any comment saying that, oh, mighty woman, mighty woman. No, it's not about being a mighty woman, because if this incident happened a few months ago, I wouldn't have reacted the same way as I reacted now. This is because that I learned how to be available for God to use me. Because when you make yourself available, most of the times, making yourself available for God is so uncomfortable. It will really take your sacrifice. It will really take you not doing things out of your own understanding, because your understanding will tell you that you're late for work. Your understanding will tell you that you don't have enough money. Your understanding will tell you that if you give everything you have, what will you be left with? You have a family to take care of. Your understanding will tell you so many things. But when God tells you to do something, he's not a man that he can lie to us. When God is telling you to do something, he doesn't want to destroy you or to disadvantage you. When God is telling you to do something, he's doing it because he wants to bless you so that you can bless others. So you see that every time, God's blessing all the time. God's blessing all the time. It's really meant for you to bless another person. God doesn't bless you to be rich, to be filthy rich, and to enjoy your money and just to enjoy your money. He doesn't bless you for that reason. He blesses you so that you can overflow. He blesses you so that you can touch the lives of the people that are around you. And if you're expecting God to bless you, you better do everything with whatever that you have now. You better be obedient with what you have now. Because I started being obedient with only five rubles, which is less than 0.10 US dollars, way less than 0.10 US dollars, because this is the money that I afforded. And when God told me to give everything I had, I gave 10 rubles. I gave 10 rubles in church, and I would say, Father, I want to give more than this. I can't come to your house with 10 rubles, which is less than 0.1 US dollars. This is, 0.1 US dollars. I was like, God, I can't come to church like this. And then God blessed me, not even after a month or 2 months, probably a week after that. And then God blessed me and I got a job. And when I got the job, I was like, I'm not going to hold anything back, because the job wasn't paying much. I think about 500 rubles, which is an equivalent of $10 per week, right? I was getting $10 per week. It wasn't enough for me even. It wasn't enough for anything. But I said, I will not hold back anything and say it's not enough. I can't give it. I still gave money to the poor. I still gave my tithe and my offering with that money and from that money. But I never slept hungry. I never lacked. And then a few weeks later, I got a job that gave me money in thousands of rubles. And I was literally getting close to $300 depending on my working schedule, because it could be less or more depending on if I could be available to work, because I have school as well. So you can imagine how faithful God is, that I came from having 0.10 US dollars to giving a tenth of my money that was equivalent to probably $2. And then I started giving a tenth of my money that was probably close to $30. And this is how God elevates you when you are faithful with the little that you have. And it's possible to everybody who makes themselves available to God. So make yourself available to God, because God will use you when you are available to Him. So this is my testimony, but I think I will post it also for Small Talk in Paris, because I have two programs, Small Talk in Paris, and also my testimony. So my testimony is literally a testimony of things God is doing in my life, in my family, and a compilation of them. And Small Talk in Paris is just a word of revelation and a word of knowledge from the Lord. So be blessed, my brothers and sisters, and we'll see each other on the next episode of both programs. Amen. Love you so much, brothers and sisters.